Hi, welcome back. I'm glad you could join me today. Today I have a special friend with me here that I want to show him to you. This is my little friend Hoot. And Hoot's a little baby owl, and he is a character. And as you can see, Hoot and I have the same hairdresser. Boy, that son of a gun's got a hair that looks just like mine. And he's he's about 2 weeks old now. And this is his first time in front of a camera, so he's a little nervous. But I borrowed him from the bird lady so I could show you. That's Diane Schaefer. She lives here in Muncie, and she takes care of all these little characters when they get hurt. This one was orphaned. As I say, he's about 2 weeks old. Hey, isn't he something though? Beautiful little bird. Yeah. You going to talk a little bit? Okay, I think we have to go to work now. I tell you what, let's have him run all the colors across the screen that you need to paint along with me today. I'll set him down. I'll be right back with you. So we'll just set him right over here. There we go. He's still squawking. Grab the old palette. As you can see, today we have a canvas up here I've taken black gesso and I've sort of painted a basic shape in here. And on top of the black gesso now, we've allowed that to completely dry, and then we've taken and put transparent color over here. And that's a mixture of, we've put some Van Dyke brown, a little bit of phthalo blue, and phthalo green, and then I just covered it. In this spot right in here, I've just put liquid white. And everything is wet, and it's ready to go, so let's go. Tell you what, let's start out today with an old 2-inch brush. I'm gonna go right over here and pick up the least little touch of the CAD yellow. Just the least little touch. There we go. Okay. Now right here at the horizon, I want to put a nice bright little area right there. That easy. Maybe a little touch over in here. Okay. Now then, without cleaning the brush, I'm going to go right back over and pick up a small amount of yellow ochre. Just a little yellow ochre. Okay. Now then, right above that, and allowing it to blend together, we'll put that ochre. It's pretty already. Okay, once again, without cleaning the brush, I'm going to go right into bright red. So we started with CAD yellow, went into yellow ochre, and now we're into bright red. And just tap a little into the bristles. Just tap it, and that gets a nice even distribution of color all the way through the bristles. Okay? Now then, with the red, we can go right in here. And we're just using sort of little crisscross strokes and just apply a little of that. Because you had the yellow on your brush, this is going to turn a beautiful orange color. There. And we just blend it right on down into the yellow ochre. Just let it sort of disappear. That's pretty already. I like these colors. Now then, once again, without cleaning the brush, this is one of those paintings I like because you don't have to clean the brush a lot. I'm lazy. I'm going to go right into phthalo blue. Just a small amount of blue. And once again, tap the bristles. Okay, let's go back up here. Now up in here, we'll put the blue. There we go. A little darker. And just let it blend right down to the red. Okay, now we can wash your brush. Wash the old brush. That's the fun part of all this. Shake it off. Cover everything in the studio. Now with a nice clean dry brush, you can go back in here and just blend all this together. So you can't tell where one color stops and the next color starts. Just like so. Okay. And that gives us a beautiful little sky. And it's very, very simple. Now then, I'm going to put a little black on the brush, and then I'm going into yellow. I put the black on the brush only to make this turn green when I touch it. Little tiny bit of the midnight black. Now I'm just going to tap some color into it. Let's go right back up here. Maybe there's a little hill way back here in the distance. So all we do is just tap. Just tap. All you're doing is touching the canvas with a brush. Canvas will pull off what it wants, give you back what's left. Just like the tax man. He takes all what he wants, gives you what's left. Usually there's not much left. There. all you're doing is just tapping, gently, gently tapping. Now if you wanted to show maybe another plane in here, you start with fresh color and leave a little dark area between them, and you can create the illusion of another plane there. That easy. And you can make as many or as few as you want in your world. Hope you enjoy seeing the little creatures. I like to show you the little birds and stuff. We have some birds that are grown, and I can't show those because they're sort of hard to control. That little owl, he's a character. It's one of the most beautiful little birds. Okay, while we have that old brush going, tell you what, maybe we'll just tap the corner here into a little bit of paint. We'll get a little yellow ochre, a little Indian yellow. Just the corner of it, just that corner. Okay, let's go back up here. Maybe right along here lives a happy little tree. I'm just going to take the corner of that brush and just begin creating the basic shape of a little tree. There, added just a little touch of the bright red there. Make that rascal stand out and sing. See, all you need is a big old 2-inch brush, a little imagination, some practice, and you can paint fantastic paintings. Beautiful little paintings. Look at there. This bush lives right there. Just sort of make up a scene in your mind and drop it on the canvas. So what's so nice about this style of painting, you can put an idea on canvas before it escapes. When I was a traditional painter, I'd get an idea in my mind, and shoot, by the time I got around to painting it and spending a week or two working on it, the vision in my mind had totally changed. Here, you can do it while it's fresh. There. All right, see? Now we've created a whole other plane right here just by doing that. Just by doing that. And maybe, tell you what, it helps to be a little crazy when you do this and think about little stories and make up little things here. In my mind, I think this is a beautiful place back here to maybe have a little cabin that lives way back over in there. So for that, let's take some Van Dyke brown. Pull it out very flat, and we take the old knife, cut across, so we have a little roll of paint right out on the edge of the knife. There you can see it good. Now maybe our little cabin, maybe it lives right there. We'll paint the back eave first, just like so. Paint the other side of the roof. Zoom. There we are. See how easy that is? Now if you don't make those little noises, though, it won't work for you. You gotta make those little noises. Doop. There we are. One right down here. And one right along here. Now that is a nice way of blocking in your basic shape for your little cabin, and you're not committed yet. You could still change that little rascal any way that you want to. Maybe it's got a roof on it. We'll use some brown and white, a little bit of black in there. We'll make sort of a dirty gray color. Just leave your color marble like that. We don't want to overmix it. Once again, our little roll of paint. It's most important how you load this knife. Now then, just touch and get nervous here. Let it go. Boop, 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 boop. See there? And it makes beautiful little shapes on your house. And you can just let it just bounce right along through there. It looks like little shingles you can see far off in there. Maybe a little bit out here on the other side. You can see a little touch there. Now they don't get the small knife. That small knife is fantastic for sneaking into little places. We'll take some dark sienna, a little white, mix them together, but not over mix them. Maybe we'll put a touch of Van Dyke brown there too. Ooh, I like that. That's nice. See, you got beautiful colors happening right there. And when you pick up that little roll of paint, those same colors are right there in that roll of paint. Now then, touch and just pull it down. Barely, barely grazing. Barely grazing. Look at that. See? And that's simple. You can paint the front of your little house, your little cabin. Now for the side over here, not as much light will hit that. So we'll add some more Van Dyke brown. We'll make it darker. Cut off a roll of paint, same way. And, look, right there. We'll put a little bit on the side. See there? You can do that. It's easy. We make painting easy. We show you how to do it. The only thing you have to add is imagination. There we are. Make it look like there's some little boards in there. Okay. Now we need a door. Let's put a door. We'll take straight Van Dyke brown. Maybe this little door right there. Just come across with some brown. See, you can make your door as big or as small as you want it. Okay, take a little touch of the white. That'll just sort of highlight the edges of it so you can see it. There, right around like so. Shoot, maybe there's a little window in there. Who knows? We'll take a little blue, little touch of blue. Least little touch of white in it. We use a small edge of the knife. And maybe, bloop, there. That's enough to give the indication that there's a little window in there. Sometimes maybe we just want to make this edge stand out a little. So I'll add a little light color right along this edge so it'll stand out there. You can see it better. Now then, we want to fix the bottom of this cabin so we can do a cabinectomy. There you go, cabinectomy. Just cut it off and you have a nice little cabin right there. Now then, let's take a little brown, a little crimson, then we'll go into our yellow. Only put those colors on there so when they touch the yellow, you get all these different shades. Don't want just straight yellow. I want a lot of things happening. Little sap green too. Little Indian yellow, yellow ochre. Now tap and give the brush a little push. See how that brush, a little ridge of paint right out there. That's what you're painting with. Now then, let's come back in here and just begin barely touching. And we can add all these layers of little grassy things that are happening. There. Over here on the other side of the cabin, maybe this comes down. Like so. Okay. Tell you what, we need a way to get to this little cabin. Let's take some Van Dyke brown. Go right in here. And just begin pushing that like so. And we want to make this path get larger and larger. It's hard to see right now against the black, but it'll show up. There. And we'll have it coming right on around, maybe down in here somewhere. Okay. As I said, this brown, it probably won't show up a great deal against the black background, but when we begin putting highlights in there, it'll come alive. So let's begin working on some little bushes and stuff that are back here. We just go back to the old 2-inch brush and just going to tap a little color right into the corner of it here again. That's a nice, easy way to make some beautiful little tree and bush shapes. Maybe right back in here, there lives a nice little bush right there. See? There he is. You knew he was there. You knew he was there. Look at that. See? And that sort of just pushes that cabin right back into the distance. There we go. Now let's begin working on maybe some of these trees here that are on the sides. So for that, I'll use the liner brush and I'll go into, we'll just use this color right here. That's a nice color. That was just brown and white. We want that paint to be very thin, very thin. Let me get a little more paint thinner here. We want to be sure it's real thin, like ink. Turn the bristles in there. All right, now maybe right up in here. Maybe there lives a nice tree trunk right there. Turn that brush, let it wiggle and jiggle and all kinds of things happen as it works its way down there. Just keep turning it. It makes very interesting tree trunks. Then you can come back in here and drop in the indication of some little limbs and branches and sticks and need a place for that little owl to sit. There. Well, that son of a gun's got some talons on him. He'll get you. There. You have to be very careful with him, be respectable. Because he doesn't realize how strong he is. Even just a 2-week-old baby owl, boy, he's a son of a gun. Maybe over here. See, there is another tree. Maybe he's got a friend right here. And in your painting, you put as many or as few trunks as you want. Just sort of look around and each one will be different. Look at your painting, because it's not going to be exactly the same as mine. The only thing we try to do here is show you how to make effects, how to create certain illusions, and then you do with it whatever you want. We each see nature through different eyes. So you paint the way you see it, and then it's right. Then it's right. The only rule that I respect in art is if it makes you happy, then it's good. You do what makes you happy. You paint scenes the way you see them. And that's when you really, really experience the joy of painting. There. Now we have all kinds of little tree trunks and things happening in there. While I got that going, maybe back in these little bushes here, we can make out the indication of some little things that are projecting up. There's one. And once again, you decide how many of these live in your world and drop them in. Okay. Tell you what, let's do. Let's grab an old 1-inch brush here. And we'll begin putting some foliage in here. I'm going to go up here and grab a little touch of the black and go into the green, or the yellow, then it'll make green. Yellow ochre. Now, tap the bristles into the paint. Just tap them. That loads a small amount of paint right out on the tip, so you can see it being pushed up right there. Right there. That's what you're after. Okay? Now then, begin thinking about shape and form. And all you have to do is just barely touch the canvas and begin laying in all kinds of beautiful little things. I think maybe I'll make that a little bit brighter so you can see it a little better on TV. There. But now when you're painting your picture at home, you paint it any way that you want it. If you have trouble making your paint stick, add a small amount of the liquid white or a little bit of paint thinner to your brush. There we go. But once again, the most important thing here is worrying about shape. All the little individual things that happen in here. There we are. This is one of the nicest, easiest ways I've ever developed of making beautiful, beautiful little trees. And even if you've never painted before, you can do this. You can do it. It works. We give you everything you need here. All you need is just a little practice and a little imagination, and off you go. There. Just layer after layer, and don't be in too big a hurry. Just work in one section of your tree at a time. I have to be in a hurry here. If I don't get done in time, they have no sense of humor. Boy, they'll get me. But at home, just take your time. Think about one clump of leaves, one group, one individual, one friend. There. And just layer after layer. All these beautiful things live deep in the woods and in the trees. See? Some's in the back, some's in the foreground, anywhere you want them. There we go. Once again, if you have trouble making the paint stick, add the least little touch of paint thinner or liquid white, either one. The liquid white, of course, will make your paint a little brighter. So if you don't want it to get any brighter, then add nothing but paint thinner. There, right in there. Okay, little baby one lives there too. Now let's go on the other side here. This big old tree that's hanging out over here. We'll give him some nice highlights. There. See? But still working in clumps or groups. That's what makes that son of a gun stand out. And save some of these dark areas in between. That's what gives your tree depth. If your tree starts looking flat, chances are you've killed all those beautiful dark areas. And you can go back and put them in, because we don't make mistakes. We just have happy accidents. Learn to work with anything that happens. Anything that happens. Okay, maybe since we have that area, we'll just put some leaves right out here, some nice highlights. Look at that. Did you ever think you could take a big old 1-inch brush and make just thousands of beautiful little individual looking leaves that easy? You really can. You really can. There we go. Okay, shoot, that brush is too slow. Let's get serious here. Get the old 2-inch brush. It does the same thing, only faster. We'll tap a little color into it. Same old way. Now then, let's begin creating the lay of the land. Just begin deciding where this goes. As it goes away back in the shadow area back in here, use less and less pressure. Let it just sort of disappear. Darker, darker, darker back in here. This is where a creature hides back in here. That's where the little bunny rabbit lives. It's quiet and dark. There we go. Okay, just varying the colors. Little bumps and hills in your land. All kinds of happy little things in here. But start in the area that's farthest away and work continually forward, forward, forward. And that helps create that illusion of depth, the illusion of distance in your painting. And to me, that's extremely important in a painting, that it has depth and distance and many, many different planes in it. There we go. See there? But the curvature that you put in here, once again, that creates the lay of the land, the way the land flows, the direction of the land, whatever you want to call it, all means the same thing. And the more you tap this, the softer it'll become. It just gets, it'll look like velvet if you work it enough. Look just like velvet. I'm going to add the least little touch of liquid white. Just want to thin that paint a little tiny bit more. A little bit of liquid white. There we go. See, now it sticks easier. Anytime you have problems making it stick, just try adding a little bit of liquid white or paint thinner. There we are. Just layer after layer after layer. This is a very simple little painting. If you've never painted before, this is a nice one to start with because it's very easy and it works well. Okay. Add another little hill right there. Yeah, let's go over on the other side and have some fun over there too. Shoot, we don't want this side to have it all. We'll use a little more of the sap green. Just tap that right in there. Load that old brush up. Now then, I have to make a big decision. Maybe it comes right down here. You can just push that little cabin as far back as you want. You could come way up in here if you wanted to and look like it's behind the hill. There we are. Maybe this one comes from way over here somewhere and just drops down. And maybe you want to create, maybe this is a more severe drop. Maybe it drops off faster than the other side. And you can do that just by changing the angle. Make up little stories in your mind, once again, and just work from that. There. See? And you can turn this so it comes towards you. Look like all those little grassy and things and little ferns that are hanging over. Just layer after layer. I've probably painted 20,000 paintings and I still get excited when I see this work. It's so fantastic. Every day I get letters from people all over the country who have never picked up a paintbrush in their life, and they've tried this and it works, and they've experienced a whole new world. A whole new world. And it makes people happy. And the people you share it with, it brings a lot of joy to them. It's the reason we call this a joy of painting. There, I hit a little touch of the bright red that time. But see how this is hanging over? It's unbelievable how you can change these angles and create all types of illusions. Okay, now then, let me find an old fan brush here. We put that Van Dyke brown in here and it didn't show up much. Now watch what happens. I'll just take a little bit of titanium white on the fan brush, just a little. Now we go back up here and we just barely touch. barely touch. See, now that brown begins to show. And we can clean up the bottom of all these little grassy areas, bring it all back together, and you can make this as light and bright as you want it, just by adding more white. Or you can add a little white with some dark sienna in it. That's very pretty. Whatever, just sort of experiment a little. The fun in painting is the experimenting, learning new things every day. If you paint for 1,000,000 years, the next painting is going to be your masterpiece. You'll always see something in your painting that you can improve. You know, I get letters from people all the time and they say, I did a painting and I'm not satisfied with it. That's fantastic, because that makes you want to go do another painting. You see what would make it better. I hope you're plagued with dissatisfaction your entire life. That way you'll get better and better and better. Now, maybe here and there you can even see the indication, a little brown in there, it's too bright. There we are. A little stone lives right up here, it climbs right up the side like that. You can just put anything in here that you want. Okay. Shoot, I think we about have a finished painting there. I'm going to take a little bit of the bright red with paint thinner. And when you go to sign these, I get a lot of questions about how do I sign it. Look how thin this paint is. I mean, it's literally, it'll run. You can see it dripping right off the palette. Thin like ink. Turn the bristles in there. And let's go right up here and we'll sign this one. Hope you've enjoyed it. It's a fantastic little painting. It'll teach you a great deal. Try it. Let me know how it works for you. That one's signed. I think we're going to call this painting finished. And on behalf of my little friend Hoot that I showed you at the beginning of the show, I want to wish you happy painting. God bless. I look forward to seeing you again.